Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to our webinar on automating business data exchange, where we will explore a no-code approach to data integration. My name is Mike Mahan, and joining me today is Eugene King, one of our senior application engineers. Eugene has over 30 years experience with LANSA on the IBM I and the Windows platforms, and is the perfect guide for today's journey. Our agenda today will start with setting the stage with 3 questions, some terminology, and core components. We will then jump immediately into a demonstration highlighting key areas of the process. We'll focus on an EDI use case for the demonstration, but we'll be happy to show the other use case examples, or perhaps one unique to your business at your convenience. We will finish with a question and answer session, so please enter your questions in the chat during the presentation, and we will cover those at the end. Presentation should take about 40 minutes, 10-minute demo, so leaving about 10 minutes for Q&A at the end. At this point, I would like to pass the baton to Eugene to take us through our data exchange approach. Eugene?
Okay, thank you, Mike. So while I'm going through the presentation, I want you to think of 3 questions. So the first being, how much effort does it currently take to handle new data requirements in or out of your organization, as well as between your internal applications? How much programming effort? What happens when you get a new trading partner? Keep that in mind as we go through. The next question is, well, what happens if something goes wrong? How can you recover from that? What happens? Can you keep the process going, or have you got to start over again? Have you got to do some remedial work? So think about that as well. And the final question to think about is, well, how do you monitor the performance and the status of your overall system? Also, how do you keep track of any documents that you actually receive from your trading partners, whether that's internal or external? Now, LANSA Composer will address all of these specific areas. So when we look at business process integration, there are 4 main areas that we really need to address. The first is getting the data. So how do we move the data? It's all about the transportation. We need to get it from point A to point B, whether that's internal or external. Once we have the data, what do we do with it? How do we make it useful for ourselves? Or if we're pushing the data out, what format do we need to put it in for our trading partners? How do we bring it all together? Traditionally, this has been a programming exercise, but how can we take all of these processes, the receiving of the data, the transforming of the data? Well, we need to coordinate those activities. We need a process orchestration. And finally, how do we administer it? How do we control user access? How do we handle things when something goes wrong? How do we send alerts? And all 4 of these are actually addressed via LANSA Composer, and we'll see each of these in turn with a demo as we go through the presentation.